It's Guido coming at you with the Tactics Talk. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I will do the same if I can. We are in my IS-2S. All of us, are piled in there right now. IS-2S on Himmel's Outpost Dorf. We're going to do a little fighting and a little talking about this north part, which I don't think I've done a lot of videos on, with the little village right here. There's a couple angles. You can go a little bit lower down by the river. You can come up higher. You do have to watch for the castle side shots coming at you from up there. There's a lot going on in this little piece of what most people would consider kind of the heavy brawling area. So I'm one tier down in my IS-2S. Recently just finished the 100 battle challenge on it at about 62% or something like that. I was actually running 70 with this thing for quite a long time. I really quite like it. I don't know why. Maybe it's just that little extra spaced armor can mess with heat shooting tanks and things like that. Maybe, I don't know, but I ended up doing pretty well. What we're going to talk about is kind of local rotation. Probably Clan Wars guys won't really like that word, but changing the angles, changing your positioning in a local area, as in just this little village area right here. Creativity and a little bit of risk analysis and risk taking to get into good positions and to kind of collapse a defense. You can see that we've got the Suma, the Chrysler, myself, and the VZ-44. We're a little light. I didn't like that we didn't get a couple more heavies. We have a whole stack of guys hanging out over here on the east side on the sniper hill, and then some other cats and dogs went up into the middle. So let's see how Guido handles this. We've already seen the Suma. We've got a CC-56. There's definitely an EBR in the middle and maybe an Iron Arnie. And the first little bit of this battle here, I'm just trying to find a place to maybe get a shot without poking around and getting shot by three guys who are all over there. At least three. The JT 8.8, the Sioux, and the Super Hellcat. So I don't want to just poke around the corner and get blapped for no reason. So I'm thinking, how are we going to do this? Oh, look, the Suma's coming at us. Our Suma takes a chunk of them. Maybe the M445 is thinking about pushing. So I'm going to react to that little push because they've sort of exposed themselves a bit. Let's come up here and support the Suma and the VZ if we can. Now, I want to watch and not hit my own buddy. The Suma's doing some nice work. We'll come up here. Thank goodness he missed, but we're going to go ahead and take this position. I wanted to try to kill the Suma, the purple one, because I knew he'd clipped out, but he made a runner and he went off the cliff. All right, so good on him. He actually made a push, mauled our VZ, who survived quite nicely, actually. We'll look for a shot of opportunity on the Iron Arnie. He dies very good. That is something you have to watch when you're doing pushes down here in this village, is getting shot in the side. So if the purples would have owned the castle, it would have been a bad idea, obviously, to push up right here. So these are all things that are going through my mind as I make these decisions in the game. We're going to side scrape here to try to minimize the ability of this guy to hit me, and it works out. We snap a shot into him. He bounces. All right, so what do we got going on? The enemy Suma is still down there. The VZ's stayed alive. The Chrysler and the AC are behind me, and our Suma is there. So if we can peel out this M445, we can start moving through the layers of this onion right here. Taking a look. He is about to take a hit in the side. Why? Because we own the village, or we own the castle. And there you go. That's a great example. What just happened to the AMX right there of why you don't want to be up in this position if the enemy team has the castle there. So watch out for that. So I'm going to actually back out of this. I'm going to stay to the right to these buildings so that if one of those guys is sitting there hold down, they'll have not as good a shot. And let's rethink this for a minute. Do we want to make a push down low? Because that's kind of what it looks like my team wants to do. But still, that 8.8, that's a difficult one. He's hold down right there, has a lot of DPM, was considering a reverse side scrape against that action down there. And then I thought, well, you know what? The Chrysler is a pretty good anchor as well back here. So I don't really feel like we're going to get pushed with the Chrysler and the Suma sitting there. Let's try to do a little local rotation, or a change of angle, if you will. We'll come back up here to the high part, and let's see if we can get some lights on some of these guys, and maybe the dudes hanging out in the middle can get shots, although it looks like maybe they've moved a bit. So we'll push in. All right. What's been happening, and I noticed as well, and I haven't mentioned it till now though, but one of the reasons I'm moving up is look at the 1357 who's crossed that open area there. We do have the Vipera who's supporting. That makes me feel like, because he did not light anyone up in any of this area here. So I really don't feel like they're there right now. That gives me an opportunity to change some angles, change positioning, and start to get up in their face. Now what I miss here, now this is a big mistake, I thought that SM was down lower. If you look at the marker, if I get down here, you can tell he's up high, but when I was kind of at that angle and I noticed him, I'm like, nope, he's down low, and I went, oh crap, he is not down low, not even close. So we're going to try to track. We don't quite get it. We do get a hit. We're going to eat another shot from him, and this is very well could have been the end of me. You also notice that the enemy team is reacting, but we're able to take down the SM. The problem with this SM is his interest shot is so slow. If he had another shell, I got inside of it probably, or maybe he had taken a couple shots. So that was almost a fatal error. And that is something you have to watch out for when you're making these kind of local rotations or changing angles or being aggressive, is obviously if you walk into somebody you didn't know that was there, it can really change the game and take you out of it. So we're able to risk assess a little bit. Unfortunately missed him. I eat a couple shots, but look at the Suma on my team is now backing me up. I was trying to see if I could get a shot on the Tiger P right there. Now, I didn't want to go down there and side scrape on the Sioux because he's gone now, but he's still sitting there. He's not lit right now. They really do have a strong HE round, so I didn't want to eat that shot if I didn't need to. This is very lucky. I'm zooming in on him. He starts to move, and I just kind of pop one just for giggles, and it actually hits him, so we'll take it. So now we're going to work this high ground, and this is beautiful because we have shots on the back of the Hellcat. We've got these guys surrounded now. The Suma's kind of in trouble. We have a Barask moving through the middle. Looking really nice. We'll come over here. We'll just pop him in the back. If I'd have been smart, I would have switched to HE. So think about that. With the intuition skill as it is, it would not have taken me too many seconds to get that HE round. The 8.8 is doing the old hang out in the water right there, coming back and forth. He takes a couple big hits. I bounce. I'm going to try to get one shot and think he dies. There we go. The Suma now, and that is what is absolutely brutal about autoloaders like the Suma. If tanks like the Suma can get in behind or get on the flank of one-shots and near-deads, they can absolutely brutalize a team in seconds. So that worked out very nicely for us. Down goes there, Suma. Now I'm just going to push in right off the cliff. Going to auto-aim the Hellcat because we're so close. Just killed him as we push in. All right. A lot about this local area. You saw one of the ways to fight it. It was good. It was permissive to move through the upper part because we owned the castle. So that's hugely critical when you're going to make moves like I just did on this map. Clearly don't do that if you had an enemy Vipera and whatnot up there. But once you get that situation, it worked. Once the 1357 came across the middle, that gave me the information I needed to move up. Big mistake assuming or thinking the SMV was down low, but I survived it, thank goodness. Some follow-up from the team doing some nice work right there. Break, now what? Look at the teams. We're in good shape, but take a look at the mini-map and what's going on over there. They have beaten our Campalama Ding Dangs. All right, so we have a Scorpion and an AMX back at Cap. What I'm going to do is what I typically do in this situation is immediately stop pushing with a bunch of near-deads and hurt tanks, look at that, into what's probably some campers. Right, I see the type, I see a heavy, there's a guard, and there's a couple other guys missing. So let's just head back. There is zero reason right now in this game, 9 minutes and 35 seconds up there, all right? This game is largely about time and hit point reduction. How much time do I have to reduce the hit points? How is my hit point reduction going in terms of my team and the enemy's team? How many hit points do we have left? And it looks fairly even though the tanks are up for us, that's good. That means right now there's zero reason with 9 minutes in the current situation, go pushing in to camping guys, and just watch what happens to the push down there. I am trying to get them to stop pushing. I don't want to get fast capped. The good news is we have a Scorpion camping. We have a 1357 who is bright enough to come back and light guys up, and the Barask made a move from the middle and came back to help. So it looks like we only have 2 of their 5 back here. But I would much rather get back here, defend the cap, kill their aggressive pushers, and find out there's only 2 pushing, then keep on pushing the purple cap and find out 4 of them pushed in to my cap. So we'll just come up here, the T-34B's making a move. The Barask does a nice job with the type, and it's clean up on aisle 2. We'll pop him, make a runner. We're just, oh, okay, awesome. We were just trying to get behind that rock, and it looks like we just did. So he hit the ground right there as he was aiming for me. Always try to do that. Always try to make whatever shot the enemy team's about to take on you as hard as possible for them. I know he has a long reload, so do I. I'm pretty confident I'm going to get there first. We'll just back out. No sense letting him have that shot. And more than likely, I'm not going to get reloaded before he dies anyway, so there was no reason to keep pushing at that guy. And all of a sudden, I've got a 3,000 damage game. Getting in there, assessing what's going on, making some good decisions, a couple bad decisions, going back to Cat to make sure nothing stupid happens, and then back to the cleanup. The only thing I'll add on this as we wrap it up, I'm going to come up here, and normally I just keep WW towards the enemy team, and I take a chance here that maybe the guard will uncover and make a runner, but I've got a lot of rocks between us, so I finally start to move, and I'm really late. So I could have been much closer to this guy. By the time I come around here, we're actually going to have a shot on him, as he is doing his best not to get killed, and he uncovers. So I'd have been much closer, probably down, if I'd have kept Wing, probably in that area down here, and might have had a much better shot. I don't have much time to zoom in, and the shot just doesn't get there. So another small mistake. But we end up with a 3,000 damage game. We've got 2 kills in there, a relatively easy win overall. And there you go. Some of my thought process on that, a little bit of risk analysis and risk taking that worked out for me in there. But when you make risks, make sure that they're informed risks. All right, when you take risks, make sure they're informed risks. Make sure you're gathering as much SA off of the mini-map and off your current team situation, the enemy situation that you can, so that your decisions are as good as they can be. And then if you run into or make a slight mistake like I did with the SMV, react to it at that point and do your best from there. That's all I've got for today. Let me know what you think about the video. Appreciate your support, and we will see ya.